So our discussion for international business starts with an introduction to the topic called globalization. Now let's look at the pictures I had been showing you. See, all these are good examples of how globalization is happening in our country. See, when you look into this picture, as you said, you can see there is a cultural, as you say, cultural integration that has happened, which is one of the net output of good globalization or effective globalization. So that is cultural diversity can be ensured in a country through globalization. This is an example. This slide I had not shown. In that case, you would get a guess of what we are going to discuss. So in this particular slide, you can see it talks about economic globalization. Now, when we are talking about economic globalization, there are different angles which we have to look into, right? Economic globalization is purely for the purpose of benefit of the participating nations. So this is an example of why countries think of economic globalization. Maybe for the transfer of technology, maybe for sharing up innovative ideas, or for sharing the resources, or it can also be one country acting as a mentor for the other country. And when you are talking, this integrated figure talks about how economic globalization happen in an economy, because the governments will be deciding to open up the market. In India, we went with complete opening up of many of the sectors way back in 1991. Before that, also some of the sectors partially were open to foreign markets. But the concept of globalization and liberalization got a lot of acceptance from 1991 onwards. From there, we had been slowly lifting different gates to promote globalization and international business. And that's why we said governments opening up, leading to liberalization of the foreign trade policies, and that can result in technology integration or education, or maybe basically into the field of health, and that can lead to like technology transfer. We can see that many foreign higher education institutions coming to India, and they are collaborating with other national institutions to go with their program. And the resultant of that is technological development and innovations that can reduce the cost in rendering various services, like the growth in the world trade. That is overall benefit which you're going to get through globalization. But primarily, when you look from the perspective of a company, the company is getting cost benefit in many of the areas because of going for globalization. And it can result in the change in the structure, in the trading structure, in the, as we told about the culture. And here you can see that this is the market is provided with many more opportunities. Like, you need not have to look into what is available in our country. You can think of brands which are available, the best brands which you want to buy, which are available in many other locations. You get it here in our country, which can automatically increase the competition in the market. And when there is mutual competition happening, the increase in quality is a need of the hour. So that also can be expected through globalization. So these are some of the benefits that's being provided through globalization. And you can see the kind of brands that became available for a country like India when it opened up market for foreign players. We have a lot of foreign brands with, as you said, a lot of brand product lines which has been flooded in India. It has its own advantages as well as disadvantages. But broadly, when we look into this perspective, it promotes competition in the market. And this competition is in a way benefiting the customer to get the right kind of product meeting his customized demand. And here, this is, as you say, it talks about the technological globalization. And here you can see that technological globalization is happening in many ways, as you get products of different companies, foreign companies, maybe at a cheaper cost. Then you have the facility of sharing the space, as in case of cloud computing, which makes you management of your services at a lower cost. Then at the same time, it can also fasten up or speed up the process, the production process, or maybe your reach of services because of updated technology. So all these are the benefits that can be given or as a result of globalization in a market. And this is a picture of how globalization has enabled many foreign banks to do their business in India. And this has enabled the customers of India to be, to deal with many of the financial products. And also, we know that it has in a way led to facilitation in the area of foreign exchange. All these are some of the outcomes which has been benefited the country through globalization. And so, coming to the topic for our discussion, we are trying to discuss about globalization and how globalization is helping the international market, helping India in the international market. So that is the topic for our today's discussion. And as I said, the pictures which I showed were few examples of the type of globalization that is happening for India. First one I showed was about cultural globalization. In cultural globalization, see, for example, if I take the example of food industry, see, we did not have a fast food culture in India. Maybe some of it is bad for the health of the people, but when we look into the kind of products available in market, some of it does not suit to the kind of food culture, or maybe the kind of food habits we had. But it all landed up because, say, McD, we did not have that having such fast food for our breakfast, or maybe for which is included in a diet. But now if you look into, it is slowly moving towards a mixed culture, where we find cuisines from different country which is being served in restaurants within the country. You can have Thai food, you can have Chinese food, or as you say, different cuisines which is available, and there is demand for it. The demand is coming up because of the awareness regarding that, and this awareness is the net result of the kind of globalization, cultural globalization that is happening within the country in the international market. And food is one category. Second is, you can look into the dressing styles. Now in India, the designers, Indian designers are looking into what is the change in the fashion industry. What are the changes that is happening in the fashion industry? Maybe first to arrive would be in Paris. So our designers are participating in the fashion shows being organized in different nations to get to know about the fashion trends, and slowly that culture becomes the pattern that is being adopted in many of the Western countries. They have demand here. So that is also a result of cultural integration because of globalization. So that is one example. The second is diplomatic globalization. Talks about you collaborating with different nations for trade relationships, for technology transfer, and then you have many organizations who are engaged in settlement of disputes or facilitating better relationship among nations. Organizations that are promoting efficient relationship between different nations, maybe with respect to trade, maybe with respect to political aspects, or it can even be with respect to cultural aspects. Say, for example, WTO or World Bank, or you have many organizations like UNESCO who are involved in building collaborations and better relationship between nations. So that again is part of diplomatic globalization, which is facilitating the other other integrations that is happening between the country. Then I showed you the example of economic globalization. The net result expected from economic globalization is the kind of benefits, cost benefits a country is going to enjoy because of sharing of its resources or sharing of its production spaces or exporting of goods and services or importing of raw materials, looking into its cost in different markets. Likewise, this economic globalization is primarily to bring some kind of cost benefits to the participants. So that is also a result of globalization in the country. Then I showed the picture of automotive industry globalization. That is a prominent type of globalization that is happening in the country. Now, earlier we used to, the Indian roads were fully packed up with ambassadors and maybe Fiat, and later the Maruti came up. But now you can see that these vehicles are almost moved out of the market, and you have many foreign brands available in Indian market, maybe through collaboration, or maybe they have started their location here. But the net result is we are being provided with many types of brands. On the road, you can see maybe four-wheeler, maybe, as you say, heavy vehicle, or the two-wheelers. We have a lot of foreign brands, and there is huge demand for these brands within the country. It's not that Indian markets are totally ignoring the products which are manufactured in India, but the collaboration in the automotive industry has helped Indian brands to upgrade its facilities at the available price, because there is technology integration that is happening and technology know-how sharing that is happening. So that has resulted in advancement in the type of technology, the type of product, the type of services, which is very evident in the automotive industry. That's why I took the example of automotive industry. Likewise, you can also look how it is happening in the technology with respect to mobile phones or tabs or your laptops. Globalization is one such factor which has made us go into being available with all high-end products available in our market. So that is also an area where there is continuous revision. Earlier, when the mobile phones came, it appeared to be very costly for common man. But you can see that now the integration of technology has enabled us to bring a product, a mobile as such, it is which is suitable to any class of customers or any group of customers within the country. So that again is another factor or another output of globalization happening in the economy. Then the next one I showed was the example of food industry globalization, where you can see that this is nothing. This picture was just showing an example of the brands available in India. But what you have to understand is it is available even maybe these brands on a daily basis. We can see that the number of brands which are entering in Indian markets have gone up tremendously in the past 20 years or in the past decade. So this again is one area which has benefited hugely because of the globalization aspect. Earlier we used to know, I remember during my childhood, this the chocolates, these chocolates, foreign chocolates, were available only when some of our relatives or maybe some of our friends who come from different places. But now, if you really want to buy any chocolate from any foreign brand or from any brand, it's possible in the country only because of globalization. So such interventions or maybe such market interventions are in a way benefiting the customers to give more options, to be placed with more choices when he go with the selection of its goods or services. Now the next one which I showed was about Technology globalization, of course, we know that business outsourcing, technology globalization has made business outsourcing possible. Much of our computer industry has benefited because of technology globalization. There is a lot of outsourcing, there's a lot of collaboration that is happening in the field of information technology, maybe either to software development or maybe software servicing or business outsourcing. In all these areas, a lot of technology integration is happening just because of this globalization. Say some of the countries may find Indian market cheaper for going with IT development, and that is actually a benefit to the Indian industries because you are given with a lot of job opportunities, and there is a lot of human capital development that is happening because of technology globalization. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is we are made available with the most advanced technology, and that can improve the efficiency of our production process. And that's the second part. And the third part where we can look as there is know-how sharing, knowledge sharing that is happening between different groups across the globe. So that is helping to improve the kind of products or services that is being created or offered by different industrial groups. That knowledge sharing is again one of the integral part of technology globalization. So one may be through making available a lot of job opportunities. Second may be by development of a lot of advancement or technology advanced products, or as you say, making available the high-end or technology advancements in the market. And the third one is knowledge sharing that is happening because of this globalization. So all these can be brought under one umbrella called technological globalization. And the last example which I took for our today's class is banking industry globalization. This is one of the industry which was in real need of globalization, as you say, business integration, because in India, one of the main problem which we face is the scarcity of capital, and that problem is in a bigger perspective taken up by these financial institutions, either by helping in foreign exchange transactions, or maybe for sourcing capital from different markets, or maybe in the way of promoting more return to the investments. So in all these angles, or in certain cases, they also offer more investment avenues for the people in the country. So all these are contributing towards the growth of banking sector within the country. Maybe many of us are aware that many of the foreign banks operate in the country, and they have a considerable lot of lot of customer base because of their kind of services being offered by them. So all these are facilitating the financial transactions happening within the country, and also it is facilitating the availability, the liquidity, the rate of liquidity or the availability of fund in the market. So these are few examples which I've just discussed in our class to discuss what is globalization. So globalization is nothing but it is a process of expanding the system from the regional or national level to encompass the entire, to include the entire market, as you say, the global market or planet. It is not restricted to a particular place. It is not restricted to a particular area. Global market talk about a market where customers, or maybe where traders, or as you say, businessmen from different places come together to come up with or to carry out some transactions. So there is no place. It's actually whenever there is a transaction that is happening between two parties across the globe, that is said to happen in a global market. And you can see that such a market is is present in every type of business in one way or other. Maybe you talk about a small kirana shop in near to your locality. There also you can see a kind of globalization happening, because that shopkeeper or the owner provides you with product that is being marketed by a foreign company. He's selling a product. He's inviting a customer to purchase a product that is being placed in the market by a foreign company. So there is that is in a way globalization is happening in every unit of transaction in one way, that is directly or indirectly in our country. You can check in every way. No, maybe when I'm talking about a pen which I bought from Indian market, I will have to ensure that what type of globalization that has happened, either in the technology, or is it in the integration of raw material, or is it through marketing of these products, or is it through exporting of these products to a foreign market. The condition can be different, but the situation has become so evident that every nook and corner you can find the benefit of globalization. So that is why we take up discussion about international business by starting with the discussion on globalization. So it is the process of expanding your system beyond the regional and national. I'm not talking about boundary, because when we say about a boundary, we normally relate that to a location or a place. But in globalization, the place is wherever a transaction that happens between two different markets or two different, as you say, traders located in two different countries, that is said to happen in a global market. Right. So that's why we say that it is expanding the business to the entire planet. Now you can see that a person sitting in a remote village in Kerala can do globalized business through online platforms. So that is again another benefit that is brought forward through, as we say, opening up of markets to foreign players. You can see that the telecommunication sector. See, when BTS, I don't know, many of you are fans for K-pop. So when they released the video, recently they went with release of their latest video, Butter. The moment it was released, you can see it's been made available to the K-pop fans of India. That's actually the strength of globalization, which is linking markets and the culture. You can see that maybe none of us can understand the language, but still we like K-pop because of, not all, at least there are a lot of fans they receive from India. In fact, they say that most of majority of the people who admire their pop music is from developing nations like countries like India. You can see what influence they are having in countries like India. So there, what actually has happened here is, along with that music, the culture is also slowly entering a country. It is a diversity that is happening because of all these globalization. But that itself is considered to be one of the greatest threat because of globalization. Over adaptation or over reliance on the culture of a particular country. Westernization, normally some of the critical evaluators say that Indian economy is suffering because of a lot of globalization, because the country has lost its culture. Most of it is coming up from Western markets. The younger generation, most of them are looking into adapting to those cultures that are prevailing in the Western countries. There are many critical aspects, or as we call many the small limitations that's being quoted with respect to globalization. But the real fact here is the diversity that it is bringing into the market. The customer is given with a lot of choice for every product and service. So it is in this angle we discuss the concept of globalization. opening up the markets. And it's not a place, it's actually a situation where a transaction is happening between two parties located, or maybe two parties from different trade locations. And this is actually the 4 areas. I have just identified the 4 areas. One is the corporate world, which is relying a lot on globalization. Second is the trade and commerce in a country, and straight away related to the economy, because it decides the kind of product and services that is available in a country. And we have come to know that recently our government has gone up with many measures where it restricts many of the foreign companies entering into the market with their products, right? And because of the availability of many of the cheap or, as you say, those products which are harmful to the Indian economy, such products are recently being banned by the government because of the health effects that is creating on people of the country. So all these has to be taken by the government, but these angles, in these angles, we find globalization within the market. Then technology and communication, we had been discussing that. Now, if I want to take my class to and make it available to any student from anywhere in the globe, that is possible for me. If I want to have a communication with any professor anywhere in the globe, that is possible. If we have to collaborate together, and if we like to do a research, it's possible. It's only because of technology and communication advancements that has happened. And then social and cultural dimension, that's what I was talking about. See, I'll share you with my experience during my internship. I had an internship in Roehampton University, London. So at that time, that was my first trip, long back. That was my first trip to a foreign land. So I thought, anyway, I'm going for 1 month. So I need to pack up things, because I have a special interest for Indian cuisine. I love rice. So I thought I'll have to pack little and take it to. I spoke with some of my friends over there, and they said, you need not bring anything. Everything is available here. But I did not have an idea that everything is available to that extent that you can have any type of food or any type of food item over there. But what I did is I packed everything little and all. And my back luggage was very huge ultimately when I went for 1 month. But reaching there, I understood that I did not bring, I should have listened to my friends. I should not bring any of these, because everything was available. If I'm thinking about cooking an Indian dish, maybe a Kerala dish, that's possible for me, because I can buy any ingredients, any type of item, maybe a little more fresh than what is available to us in my place. So that is the power of, as we say, social and cultural dimensions. And I could see many Kerala restaurants, Indian restaurants, where you not only see customers from India or from Kerala, you can see many of the foreign customers who are enjoying Indian cuisine. Same in India, we enjoy Chinese food, we enjoy Thai food, or as you say, continental food. All these are integration of culture that has happened due to the globalization. So these are the positive factors which is available to every market which opens up for globalization, or which opens up its gates for the foreign players. But as we move up, these are the primary drivers. When you look into the primary drivers for the concept of globalization, first is technological, because they were the first to take up the drive for opening up the market. Technological advancements, because way back it was pretty difficult for many of the IT companies to come up with or to train their employees with latest technologies. Now things are different. Now the sector is so advanced that everything, every nook and corner, you can find technological advancements happening through collaborations and knowledge sharing, and also due to the demand for it from global markets. So that is one. Political, of course, governments. See, some of the governments, they don't permit much of globalization in some of the countries. So you can see that the kind of integration that is happening would be very less. But some countries, as you say, like India, we are opening up. Our government policy is supporting internationalization in every area. So that's why there is a lot of foreign companies coming up, collaborating with Indian companies. So that is also one drive. If politically, if government is supporting and if things are happening automatically, that will be going with more globalization. And market demand, when customers, lot of customers, when there is a lot of demand for foreign goods, that again is a driver for globalization. Of course, cost factor is the benefit which we will get through either availability of raw materials at a cheaper cost, or maybe production advantages, or maybe, as you say, the cost of labor. All these are factors contributing for the preference for globalization. And of course, competitive market in the sense the customer is given with a lot of choices. So that again is leading to increase in the demand, the quality, the type of brands available, all these. So these are the primary drivers for globalization within the country. So I stop here. Basically, what you have to understand is today we have given with an introduction of why globalization, what are the factors contributing to globalization, and what is it actually globalization in an Indian perspective. Thank you.